Patreon, going strong. If you want to go over there and join in on the fun, we got 3 tiers on Canadian dollars. First tier is $3 a month, where you get these episodes ad free. You also get AMAs once a month, or learn about me episodes once a month. And then on the second tier, which is $5 a month, you get everything from the first tier, as well as coverage of a reality show of yesteryear. That's right now Jersey Shore, currently in season 3. You can also go to the main feed, where there will be the first episode of every season released there. So you can try that before you head over to the Patreon. And then on the third tier, you get everything from the first 2 tiers, as well as coverage from a true crime documentary. We got the backlog of Ashley Madison documentary, Man with 1,000 Kids, Into the Fire, Lacey Peterson, and again, all those episodes for the first episode of each is in the main feed, so you can try that before you head over. So if you are interested, you can head over to patreon.com/realityt times 2, and you can sign up for whichever tier you feel for. Again, you can try before you buy, which basically means you can try any tier for a week before committing to it. Even if you are on other tier, if you are on tier 1 or the first tier and you want to go over to the second tier, you could still try that second tier for a week before committing to the upgrade. So again, that is at patreon.com/realityt times 2. And of course, the link is in the show notes, website, social media accounts. It's all available there. Welcome to Reality Tea Times 2, the podcast where we discuss all the trash reality TV we love to hate. I'm Tanika, and today we are going to be discussing Love is Blind UK. But before we do, again, just as a reminder, these episodes are going to be exclusively to Patreon for the first week, and then released on the main feed. So there is potential that there are other episodes available right now that are not yet available to you on the main feed, if you're listening to this on the main feed. So there's that. Secondly, this is audio only episode, so no video for this one. Just as that, so everyone knows about that. And then we're gonna do some hot goss. It's been a bit. I haven't had any hot goss, and I got some stuff I want to talk about before, it's no longer relevant. So we have a few different things that we're going to talk about throughout. But again, we're sticking to the 3, so we'll do that. Golden Bachelor is coming up very soon. I'm going to try to cover it as much as I can. So season 2 reveals the new cast of 23 women. So yeah, I'll try to see if I can post these, maybe post the website, maybe, so it's there for you, Oh, actually, I don't even think I have pictures of them. Or let's see. Let me go further before I say yes, no, yay, whatever. Okay, no, I just have the list. So here we go. Are there pictures? I guess there's pictures somewhere. It doesn't matter. We're just going to say who's here and go from there. So we have Alexandra. She is 67 and she is a luxury yacht sales representative from Miami, Florida. We have Amy, who is 63 and a full-time mom from Short Hills, New Jersey. We have Andra. I think it's Andra. I like that better. She is 77. There's going to be a problem. And she is a retired federal worker from Los Angeles, California. We have Carla, who is 62 and a former model from Los Angeles, California. We have Carol, who is 63 and a family manager for baseball all-star Freddie Freeman from Villa Park, California. We have Cheryl, who is 66, a retired IRS employee from Inglewood, Colorado. We have Cindy, who is 60, a retired biomedical engineer. She is smart, from Austin, Texas. We have Debbie, who is 65, a fitness professional from Denver, Colorado. Diane, who's 71, a librarian from Walsilla, so hopefully I said that right, Alaska. Jerry, who is 64, a home care agency CEO from Rockville. Is this going to be Maryland or what is MD? Rockville, Maryland? Not Minnesota. That's not right. Maryland? It has to be Maryland. Okay. Lily, who is 72, a retired elementary school teacher from Pacific Palisades, California. Lisa, who is 66, a state park employee from Marion, Ohio. I think it's Maya, Maya, that's it, who's 58, a college sports consultant from Malibu, California. Monica B., who is 62 and a flight attendant from Huntsville, Alaska. Or Huntsville, not Alaska, Atlanta, maybe Atlanta. There we go. Monica P., 60, a cosmetic dentist from Birmingham, Alabama. Oh no, Huntsville, Alabama. That's where I'm fine. Maylene, 61, a casino VIP host from Las Vegas, Nevada. Nicole, 64, a yoga instructor from Miami Beach, Florida. Peg, 62, a retired firefighter and bomb tech from Las Vegas, Nevada. Robin, 63, a wealth advisor / vineyard owner from Napa Valley, California. Roxanne, 62, a longevity nurse from Austin, Texas. Susie, 62, a realtor from Del Mar, California. Terry, 71, a cosmetic dentist from Houston, Texas. And last but not least, Tracy, 62, an interior designer from Lafayette, Louisiana. A lot of people from California. So that would be interesting to see. But since we're on the trope of talking about cast members, let's talk about Love is Blind, season 9. We're here in Denver. I am not excited after the Mavs Denver season. Yikes. This is not going to go good. So anyways, let's go through the cast. Let's go through the men. So yeah, I'll probably, post this as much as, possible. The men are first. We have Anton. He is 29 and he is a transportation / logistics. He is an Aquarius. So about Anton. Anton's biggest turn on is somebody who's willing to open up, share their life story, and be sincere. Feeling that connection is very important to me. Anton's life story, by the way, started in Russia. He spent his childhood there, and through it may surprise the women he dates in the pods. English isn't his first language, no shit. While his dates won't be able to see them in the pods, Anton has a few tattoos, some of which he gave himself. Oh God, this sounds like what is its face. He is ready to make an even more permanent decision and marry a woman who's family-oriented and wants to settle down, hopefully with a dog. Though he'll readily admit that vaping is his worst habit, when it comes to relationships, you'll never see Anton blowing smoke. Oh my God. My friends and family would describe me as very truthful, and that's probably my greatest quality. Next, we have Blake, who is 34. He's an accountant. He's an Aries. And he says this: as an April Fool's Day baby, Blake knows how to take a joke, but he's never been more serious about finding a partner. In the pods, women who are interested in different perspectives will capture his attention. I find curiosity very attractive. He says, inquisitive minds go a long way in helping to pull Blake out of his shell. I'm a little more introverted than most people would expect. I process things internally. Up until now, Blake has prioritized his career over romantic relationships, but he's finally ready to focus full-time on finding love. This experiment makes that goal very attainable. Speaking of goals, Blake has already accomplished a lot in his life. He's most proud of owning a home where his beloved Bernese mountain dog Mabel calls the shots. Anyone hoping to become a dog mom to Mabel must enjoy what Blake calls stereotypical Denver things, especially hiking. Next, we meet Brendan. He's 32, a finance manager, and he is a Leo. Solution oriented Brendan is always looking for ways to fix everything, but at least he's no fixer upper. Sure. Brendan also has a master's degree, which he earned while working full time. Plus, his friends and family describe him as caring, compassionate, and funny. So far, though, he's been unlucky in love. Maybe it's because he's a fixer-upper. That's not what they said. He was born on Friday the 13th. No, that's not why. Dating in Denver or Menver. Oh God. As others call it. Who calls it that? Has been tough since there are so many more single men than women. Entering the pods, he's looking to meet a best friend who's respectful of others and makes him laugh, which is the key to his heart. I have a lot of love to give, he says. I just haven't met the right person. Next, we have Chase. He's 29, water treatment consultant. He's a Gemini. Yikes. Don't sleep on Chase. No, really, because he adheres to a strict 9:30 p.m. bedtime and wakes up at 5 a.m. to fill his day with lots of activities. He sounds like fun. Ladies, yikes. After spending the last 8 months solo traveling around Southeast Asia, Australia, and New Zealand, he's ready to share a suitcase with someone special. And if she has a taste for adventure, even better. Chase has bungee jumped, biked 450 miles along the coast of California, and recently earned his dive master in scuba diving, all before going to bed at 9:30 p.m. Oh, I had the last part. Ocean activities are really beautiful to share with a partner. He says, in the pods, he's looking to match with a sweetheart who shares his sense of humor and active lifestyle. If the right woman is in there, he'll be ready to dive deeper than the coral reefs. Next, we have Deo. Sorry. Deo. We said it. Daylight come and me wanna go home. I'm sorry. I'm going to hell. He's 30. He's an IT advisor and he's a Sagittarius. Originally from the UK, Deo settled down in Denver, but he has yet to find love stateside. What's wrong with me? His charming English accent will immediately make him stand out in the pods, but it's what's on the inside that matters most. Deo is looking for a partner to inject some optimism into the everyday. An overly negative person gives me the ick, he shares. I need some positivity in my life. His friends and family would say he's still single because he's picky. Deo, on the other hand, claims he simply wasn't ready for a serious relationship until now. Determined to trade in the casual for the consistent, he hopes to meet a loyal person he can count on to stick around even when times get tough. Deo tends to be tardy. He's missed more than a couple flights in his life, but perhaps he'll find someone for whom he's worth the wait. Next, we got Dylan. He's 32, financial analyst. He is also a Gemini. Dylan is constantly quoting The Office, and he'd like to meet someone who shares his sense of humor. You could say he's looking for the Pam to his Jim, or maybe it's more like the Angela to his Dwight. Oh, fuck. Since he admits he can be a bit weird like Dwight, and his type on paper is physically fit with blonde hair. So, Angela. More importantly, he needs his partner to be an active and goal-oriented go-getter who's always trying to find a better version of themselves. But after 4 years of being single, Dylan isn't willing to settle for less than he thinks he deserves. He just so happens to have attended the same elementary school as Warren Buffett, so of course, ambition is important to him. The elementary school, not even the university or college, elementary school. The fuck? Something tells me he's going to end up more with a Pam. That's what he's going to end up with. Not an Angela. Anyways, Next, we have Edmund. Why does he look familiar? Anyways, he's 29, he's a realtor, and he's a Libra. Energetic Edmund knows he can be, well, a lot. When I go out with friends and it's poppin', I'm just in the moment having the greatest time, but I could see how that could possibly get on my partner's nerves. If that happens, you can ask him to take it down a few notches, but never tell Edmund to slow his roll, because his biggest passion in life is rollerblading, and when he gets going on his skates, he's faster than all the cars on a city street. Rollerblading is the one thing he'd never be willing to give up for a girl. That or gummy bears. Do you want a Haribo Go Bear? After earning his master's degree, Edmund moved to Colorado from his home state of West Virginia. West Virginia. Now he's looking for someone compassionate, friendly, and down to earth to join him for his next chapter. These boys are goofy as hell. Okay, we have Jensen, who's 29. He's a data analyst, and he's also a Gemini. After college, Jensen biked across the country from the Santa Monica Pier in Los Angeles to Montauk, New York. The journey taught him a lot about himself, and he's eager to learn even more inside the pods. While Jensen is searching for a mate who can match his speed, she doesn't need to be able to bike from coast to coast in just 2 months or quickly recite the alphabet backwards. Okay, weird flex, but anyways, one of his own hidden talents. But you can't be lazy, as that's his biggest ick. Jensen is extremely close with his 5 siblings, that is too many children. So ideally, his partner would also be family oriented. As someone who's always smiling, Jensen is often told he's too optimistic, but he believes his glass half full approach to life is what makes him so spontaneous and open to an unorthodox experience like this one. We have Joe. He's a little cuter. He's 29, he's in sales, and he is a Virgo. Described by those closest to him as the life of the party, Joe has been known to steal the spotlight at a karaoke bar, usually singing Queen. He's my kind of guy already. His personable nature also serves him in his relationships, as he's most proud of being a loyal friend. Since Joe's love language is quality time, he spends a lot of it with his family, watching sports, going to concerts, and regularly attending his nephew's soccer games. His perfect match will not only be will not will okay will not only want to join in on that family fun, but you'll also be eager to nurture their connection as a couple through genuine one-on-one conversation. In the pause, Joe hopes to meet someone with whom he can go deep and share his strong faith in God. Bonus points if she doesn't mind his near constant whistling around the house. That's a no from me, dog. I'm out. He knows it can be a bit annoying, try a lot annoying, but remember, his ability to carry a tune comes in handy on nights out. Next, we have Jordan. He's 30, he's a service manager, and he is a Libra. For Jordan, patience isn't just a virtue, it's non-negotiable to a single father to a 4-year-old. You can judge someone's character on how patient they are. Jordan is looking for someone who will love his son like he's their own, but because a lot of people don't want to date parents, he so far hasn't had much luck. Jordan's best habit is eating healthy, but he's also well aware that his go-to chicken breast breakfast smoothie, ew, might not go down smooth for everyone. I know it's gross. It's an understatement. But just trying to get my protein in. Then add protein shake to it, bruh. Like, what? Shit. Okay. Though he didn't graduate from college, Jordan has gone far in his career. He's very proud of that and values ambition almost as much as a sense of humor and good hygiene. I'm really sensitive to smells and body odor. Okay. Logan, 35. He's an account executive and he is a Capricorn. Logan is just a small town boy from a small town world, and he'll tell you that by singing it in tune of Don't Stop Believin'. Of course he does, by Journey. Duh. That's right. He's known among friends for spontaneously breaking out into song at any moment. What's the problem? I don't see a problem. Anyway, family-oriented Logan strives to strike up a romance in the pods with someone who'll be excited to go home to Wisconsin and celebrates special occasions with his parents, sisters, and in laws. And he can't wait to be a parent himself, so not wanting to have kids is a deal breaker when it comes to dating. He's also turned off by people who don't take accountability for their actions. After 4 years of being single, Logan's in the market for a partner who can own their mistakes and have tough, direct conversations that lead to self growth. We got Michael, who is, wow, he's 41. He's a medical sales and he's a cancer. Not like a cancer, you know what I mean. Michael's entering the pods and ready to shoot his shot, and he's had some practice as he's a regular at Dave& Buster's. Great. Every time he hits the arcade, Michael makes it his mission to beat the high score in the basketball hoop game, and he'd love to have his boss babe, ugh, by his side, cheering him on. I'm super excited for her to come along and realize she's got a winner. Fun fact, Michael has one small big toe. What? 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 Okay. His heart, on the other hand, is huge. He absolutely loves love and takes pride in being someone his friends can confide in. Entering into the experiment, he doesn't want another pretty face. He's looking for a beautiful soul. However, a great smile will also score points with Michael. The youngest of seven, he grew up as the baby. Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. Hold on. His name is Michael, and he is the youngest of seven. Two more, and he would have been the Jackson family. Michael was also the seventh. Huh. Okay. What was I saying? And so he grew up as a baby of this family, but nowadays he helps take care of his friends' kids, which he really enjoys. Next, we have another Mike. He's 38, real estate investor, and he's a Pisces. Don't be fooled by his pretty face, because Mike isn't afraid to roll up his sleeves and get his hands dirty. From building houses to conquering the real estate game, Mike considers himself a jack of all trades who loves to spread the wealth. I'm passionate about helping others, and I get fulfillment from seeing other people be successful. But he can't hang with those who can't help themselves, so anyone who gives off grandma vibes in the pods won't get a second date. Ideally, his partner will share his growth mindset, um, and be excited to experience new things together. This globetrotter loves to travel to new places, always looking for the best beaches, views, and meals. But balance is key. Mike wants a partner who takes care of themselves inside and out. I'm looking for a partner to be healthy mentally and physically. We have Nick, who is 28. He's a luxury watch dealer. He's a Capricorn. This former do do Duthelite, whatever, continues blazing trails in his everyday life. Nick started his own business a few years ago, which allowed him to give up the 9 to 5 grind and make more time for adventure. I'm most proud of finding a way to live my life on a different tempo and schedule than most. For Nick, that means booking last minute international trips anytime he spots a good flight deal, and he's looking for a partner who's down to rack up some air miles. I like to go into a trip with a little bit of spontaneity, and I live my life like that. So if every second is planned out, that's not going to work for me. In the past, Nick has held himself back from going too deep with the people he dates because he's afraid of hurting others. So heading into the pods, he's excited to be given the time to build a strong connection with someone through emotional vulnerability. We have Patrick, who is 31. He's a construction manager and a Scorpio. Could romance be in the cards for poker player Patrick? Always cool under pressure, he's not nervous about taking this unconventional approach to finding love, especially since dating as an Asian man in predominantly white Denver has sometimes been difficult. Describing himself as a late bloomer, Patrick says he hasn't found the one yet because he was immature and insecure earlier in life. This gamble will pay off in spades if Patrick meets someone who matches his easygoing energy. As he puts it, when a girl can just kick it, go with the flow, be spontaneous, that's money. For Patrick, that means being able to engage in the natural give and take of conversation because chatterboxes are an automatic ick. Though he won the Colorado Poker Championship in 2019, Patrick says he's most proud of being a first generation college graduate. My family came over here from Cambodia in the 1970s, and I was the first in my family to get educated and find success in America. We have Rohan, who is 27. He's a private equity. He's an Aquarius. A polyglot with a well-stamped passport, Rohan is hoping to find his forever travel buddy. After moving to the US from India when he was 14, he's worked hard to put down roots in Denver. I'm extremely proud of moving to the US and adapting. I didn't speak English, and it was a really rough start in the beginning. When it comes to love, Rohan wants to settle down with an open-minded and honest woman, extremely curious and friendly. Rohan always asks questions that draw others out of their shells, and he's looking for a strong communicator who can do the same. I don't like being kept in the dark. The one thing Rohan would never give up for a romance is his close relationship with his tight-knit family. They taught me how to love. So if I have to sacrifice my family to be with someone, I don't believe that would end up being a true love. The women. Um, so we have Allie. She's 29. She's a nurse and an Aries. Born in Brazil, Allie is a first generation immigrant who's proud to have learned English and built a life in the US. In the pods, she hopes to meet an ambitious and hardworking guy with a similar sense of discipline. Dating in Denver, Allie has encountered a lot of boys who aren't ready to grow up, and she's only in the market for men. I'm looking for a leader, somebody that inspires me to be a better person, and somebody that I can do the same for. But Allie has high standards, so any man who wants to date her will need to rise to the occasion, and they'll have to do so with humility because for her, a big ego is a major red flag. Plus, he'll have to take the lead on cleaning, as chores are the last thing on her mind while she pursues another degree. If I do find a partner here, they'll have to be okay with me being in school and being extremely busy for a couple years. We have Anastasia, who is 29. She's a nurse and a Taurus. Don't be fooled by Anastasia's dash hand tattoos. It doesn't mean she has a dog. It actually symbolizes all the hot dogs she's eaten on trips to Chicago. Anastasia relishes good communication, and because both her parents are therapists, she often she's often complimented on her ability to make others feel heard. She puts her empathetic nature and listening skills to good use in her career as an oncology nurse, which is not at the hospital. You can usually find her blowing off steam on the dance floor. Anastasia has decided on stage. Wait, Anastasia has danced on stage with Flo Rida and has been known to start dance battles anytime she's out on the town. Though she's looking for a man who will grow with her, she's not willing to change for anyone else. In the past, I've completely lost myself for a partner, and that's not something I will do ever again. We have Anna, who is 28. She's a hairstylist and a Virgo. If Anna had one piece of advice for men in the dating scene, it would be go to therapy. That's why the key to her heart is emotional maturity. She's searching for an easy and authentic connection with someone not too broy, who loves going to concerts as much as she does. Music is a big part of my life. Anna also wants a partner who can calm her mind as she tends to overthink things. She's not willing to give up her core values for love, and that includes her political views and focus on family. If she ever sees a suitor being disrespectful to their parents, she'd immediately get the ick. Anna is fluent in 2 languages and keeps a very tidy home. Her friends often comment that her apartment looks sterile, and that doesn't mean she's uptight. Those who know her best call Anna bubbly, fun, and easygoing. We have Annie, who is 31. She's a hair salon owner and an Aries. This hairdresser has had a lot of practice making conversations with clients, so she won't have any problems talking to a wall. As the owner of her own salon, Annie has no interest in men who are lazy or don't support her ambitions to continue growing her business. Though she's constantly getting compliments on her long blonde locks, which are almost always perfectly styled, she isn't afraid to rough it. Growing up in a very small town, there were only 25 students in her graduating class. He spent a lot of time camping and fly fishing with her family. She even had a pet cow named Rudolph. While Annie has since moved to Colorado's big city all by herself, she still looks up to her dad, who's never let her down. She also tends to compare all of her relationships to her parents' fantastic marriage. Hopefully, someone can live up to that high bar. We have Ashley, who is 35, director of compliance and an Aries. Ashley's friends and family say she beats to the rhythm of her own drum, and since she's been single forever, Ashley is starting to get a little tired of keeping up that beat all on her own. I wouldn't consider myself to have ever been in a real relationship. Why? According to Ashley, she's an alpha in all areas of life, especially when it comes to work, which leaves her little time to date. She wants to find a partner who can take some responsibility off her shoulders so she can relax. Let me rest and be confident that you're going to keep me safe and that you can make a decision. I'm willing to follow you if you have direction. In other words, to get Ashley, you've got to be a boss person, especially if you're going to join in on her favorite family tradition, an annual Christmas Eve game night that usually involves a lot of trash talk. We have Aza, who is 32, an events manager and Aquarius. If you ever need to find Aza, look for the nearest concert. In the last year, she went to 37, and now she's searching for the perfect partner and exploring the music scene. He just can't get embarrassed when she inevitably starts dancing. Even among big crowds, her friends describe her as the most positive and happy person in the room. In relationships, however, that's a double-edged sword, as Aza never wants to start a potentially negative conversation and tends to hold things in. Aza likes to make sure that those around her are having a good time, so of course she values people who carry that same respect for others. It's a key quality she'll be looking for in the pods. Despite always being on the go and constantly cooking up fun, Aza is actually quite introverted and enjoys solitude. I'm very independent and love the life I built for myself, so I have high standards and won't settle for just anyone. We have China. Oh fuck, it's China. She is 39, marketing manager and a Leo. If you just look at the surface, you might think I'm a diva, says China. But this makeup artist is a secret goof who's hoping to find a partner accepting of her many quirks and tendency to laugh at her own jokes. Plus, you couldn't care less if you don't wear name brand clothing, as long as it's freshly laundered. Dirty underwear gives me the ick, same girl's name. After 5 years of being single, China just wants to connect with a self-assured man who puts in the effort and is consistent, qualities that have been severely lacking in the Denver dating scene. I'm not giving up on love, she says, but I'm not settling until I find someone who's serious about me. That someone will also have to share China's strong faith and not be too bothered by her sarcasm, which for the record, she's working on. Hi everyone. So I have a new product for you to partake in. One that I'm going to share with you, and that is Be Believe. So, Be Believe in the power of playful learning. So, dive into the world of wonder with Be Believe's rich collection of animations, catchy songs, playful coloring pages, hands-on activity sheets, and engaging ebooks. Each element is thoughtfully crafted to captivate young minds while reinforcing positive behaviors in a fun and meaningful way. Whether your little one is watching a magical adventure, singing along, coloring their favorite character, or reading an enchanting tale, every moment is packed with joy, learning, and imagination. So if you go to our unique code or link in order to not only support Be Believe, but also support the podcast, you can head to be-believe.com/reality2. So that's www.believe facebook.com /reality2. So that is REALITEATWO. And the link is also in the show notes where you can also link to that. So head on over to Be Believe with our unique code link, and you can unleash good behavior through enchanting tales, where imagination and good behavior unite. Thank you, Be Believe, for supporting this podcast. Now, back to the show. And I am back. So, as mentioned, we just left from doing the hot goss, so now we're heading in to the actual episode. So, this is episode 3. We start off with Megan and Sophie are alone in the quarters, and Sophie takes the opportunity to confront Megan about kind of what's happened with Kieran gifting Megan the gift, how that made her feel. And Megan says, finding out he had a connection with her too genuinely surprised her, which I believed her. I believe that surprised her because I think, like, from your perspective, it's like, okay, like, if you are having this other connection, you seem so gung-ho on me, but like, that is confusing. But more on that later. So we got Jed and Barda. What do you think about tats? That she asked that question to him. And he says, well, I don't have any, but I have wanted to get one. He's thinking once there are kids involved and once he has kids, he could get one to kind of represent the family, which I love tattoos that have meaning. And I love tattoos kind of like that. I love those. So she talks about when her parents moved here. They didn't speak English. She started working at 13 years old. She's now in the highest level of her company. And you know what? Good for her. You go, girl. I like her. Like, she's great. Anyway, we got another reveal. We got Sarova and Cal. It was a sweet one. Of course, he proposes again, as they always do. And he tells her that he loves her. You don't have to say it back, though, he says, but I just wanted you to know. And she says, well, I can definitely say it back. And she does. So that's so sweet. It's so sweet. But there's not much else I can say about that. So we got Patrick and Anu. We find out here she was a backup singer, I'm assuming, for Rod Stewart. The if you want my body and you think I'm sexy, come on, baby, let me know. Forever young, forever young, forever young. Oh, that Rod Stewart. Are you kidding me? Like, Rod Stewart. She's cool. I like her. Anyway, he asks, so what happens if your parents reject me? So we're just hopping in on that already. We're just hopping in on it. We're just going to hoppity skip into that already. We're just going to hope for that. Like, why put that negativity out into the world? Follow your spleen and don't ask that question. Jesus fucking Christ. She says, my mom is my best friend. If she's not feeling it, like, I would listen. Okay, that's a problem. For me personally, your people may not particularly like someone you're with. And yes, I can get uncomfortable. But at the end of the day, you're the one who has to live with with the choices you make in life. I wouldn't jeopardize something that I know I'm good with and I'm comfortable with because someone else doesn't like them. I don't care who they are. Like, I just know, because you do not know that person the way I do. And not only that, let me figure it out for myself. If you're just going to jump out of something because your parent says, oh, I don't like them, that creates, there's no boundaries. So I am with him on what he says here, but I think under these circumstances as well, you barely know each other. So I can maybe understand listening a little bit more to what people are saying because you're so in it, you're so headfirst into something, into this experience that maybe you're missing red flags and that I can maybe understand a little bit more. So he says, if my people said that, they didn't like you, I wouldn't listen. It feels like people pleasing to me. Now that's a stretch. It doesn't feel like people pleasing. It it doesn't. Um I, I think it depends on the situation, honestly, and the person you're dealing with. She didn't say, I'm going to listen to all my friends and every Tom, Dick, and Harry, and whatever. She said her mother. That's a totally different situation. And I'm telling you, I didn't like him from moment one. When he started talking about his freaking spleen, I'm like, I'm good. I'm good on this guy. I mm-mm, mm-mm. There's something off about this one. There, I'm so good. He's like, if you're always doing things based on others, you're not really living life, which I do agree with. I do agree with that. Now, after that, his spleen is silent, y'all. Silent. It ain't talking. He's like, I'm gonna let that spleen. You there? Spleen's not there right now, Miss Spleen. I hear nothing. Do you hear anything? No? Spleen ain't talking. So take you and your spleen and leave, please. Like, I don't like this guy. Anyways, so we move on from that. We have Demola and Katisha. He wrote her something. One of the things that he says is, just like Bruno Mars, or like Bruno, I should say, he's gonna love you just the way you are, a treasure. He named 2 Bruno Mars songs in one sentence, literally. Treasure, that is what you are. I love Bruno Mars. Um, but yeah, no. If someone is quoting Bruno Mars to me, I don't want it to be just the way you are or treasure. No, no. If I want you quoting Bruno Mars, what I want you quoting is that juicy and is it juicy? Juicy, that's what it's called. I want you quoting something like that. I want you quoting like Gorilla or what's that other one? They put this with other people. Literally in my head. What you do? Where you at? What was the song called? I can't remember what the song's called. But basically, if you know anything about Bruno Mars, you know the type of songs I just mentioned. And it ain't any of that cookie cutter stuff. I want talk to me in a way, and I'll respond in other ways. And trust me, everything else is gonna follow. But like, it's this cookie cutter stuff, and obviously, like, you don't know each other, so it's different. But it's just like, I don't know, man. It's a little too cookie cutter for me. But anyways, it's fine. It's fine. In the quarters, she um is so confused about how is he so set on me. Now that's her insecurities talking. She doesn't understand how a man like Demola could want to be with her. And I don't even think it's even so much about a Demola. I think it's any guy. She doesn't get why they would be so in on her. Now, I particularly am not fond of either choice for her, but seeing how things will turn out, which I'm not going to say yet, I'll say when we get to it. It tells me that she's going for a person she's comfortable with, a person who she doesn't have to necessarily question. More on that later. So we got Karen and Sophie. And she's like, you know what? I got something to say. You gave a gift to Megan. It's disrespectful towards me. Your actions speak loudly, sir. He says, well, I have to give my all to the experience. Okay, that's a dig because she sure has not. She says, that's nice for you, but like, you had to know she would come in that way. He says, I'm sorry for doing that. I do respect you, but clearly you don't because you wouldn't have done that. I'm a catch. I'm a prize. So I am done here. And she walks out, and Megan says, how was your date? And she said, lovely. I ended it. I am not going to wait around hoping he picks me. No, thank you. She says, fuck this. I want this mic off. I want to go home. Now listen, he is going to potentially have more than one connection. This is Love is Blind. Number two, she was doing something that you weren't. That was opening up and letting him in. But this is Love is Blind. This is what you do. Now, did he necessarily have to gift Megan something? No. Is his action speaking loudly? Yes. Should he have just told Sophie, you know what, this isn't working? Abso-fucking-lutely. But he didn't. And it's not like the end of the world. Listen, we have had worse on these shows. And this guy was no Matthew. Okay. This guy was, what was that guy's name in last year's? He wasn't that. Okay. He kept it fairly 100 the best that he could. I think he was trying to figure this out. I think he was also maybe hoping Sophie would open up. But I think when she finally did, it was a little too late. This is Love is Blind. Now, do I think she handled herself incorrectly? No. I know. She's allowed to be upset. She wasn't coming at Megan or anything like that. So I think she handled herself as well as she could have. But again, at the end of the day, as mentioned, this is Love is Blind. You want a husband, you need to be able to open up and let someone in order to have that husband. This girl does not need that though. This girl, like I said last episode, needs a therapist. Anyway, we got Patrick and Anu again. God damn it. We got a spa date after that weird date where like his spleen was silent. Yeah, that one. Um, he says, I had a splenetic thing. You're the only one I want to talk to. No shit. We already know this. Anyways. But the downturn happens yet again though while on this date. Because he asks, I guess like I don't know exactly what he asks, but it's like I don't know what I will bring. I'll just be me. I think that's what she says. He says, next logical step is a proposal. Is that something you want? Do you want a proposal? Why the fuck are you here then if you do not want to have a proposal? Again, with the same energy with Sophie, this is Love is Blind. Love is Blind, you date in the pods, you really like somebody, you propose to them in the pods, you then go on a trip to somewhere, and then you come back to the real world, and you try this shit out for 4 weeks to see if you're still freaking compatible, and then you potentially get married at the end, or you never see each other ever again. This is Love is Blind. With the goal of getting engaged. Bitch, stop asking stupid fucking questions and then you won't get stupid fucking answers like sushi. I want sushi. What is happening? He then says, so will you sing for me since you're a backup singer to Rod Stewart? So then she would come in and be like, if you want my body and you think I'm sad. Like, what do you want her to sing? Like, I can understand. This is going to come up a lot, so that's why I'm saying it now. She has an issue with singing and like not in front of, you know what I mean? Singing in quote unquote front of him. And it's clearly making her uncomfortable with the idea of doing that. And he doesn't seem to understand why that's such a big deal. But it's not an uncommon thing for some people to not feel comfortable singing one-on-one like that in front of people. Like I think of like Michael Jackson, for example. he talked about the fact that he struggled to sing in front of like one or two people. Like I remember reading or watched it or whatever it was when he did his interview with Oprah Winfrey and she was kind of like asking him, sing, sing. And he's like, I can't. Like he didn't feel comfortable. He could dance. I do remember, I think he danced in front of her, but singing, he felt uncomfortable with. And this is a person who's performed in front of millions of people passing out like, oh my God, you know what I mean? Like, this is Michael fucking Jackson who has been singing at that time for close to 30 years. So, how do you feel uncomfortable? But I learned from that it's so much more intimate to sing in front of one person versus an entire arena of people. So I totally get her maybe not feeling quite comfortable with the idea of singing in front of this freaking stranger who talks about his fucking whatever the fuck things that she doesn't fucking know. I totally understand her. And him pushing her to sing for him is disgusting and uncomfortable. And I hate this guy. I don't like him. Anyway, she says she's like I said, she seemed really uncomfortable. And he says, it seems like she doesn't want to do that. No shit. If she doesn't want to do that, then respect it. What okay, is her singing for you the end all be all of whether or not you'll propose to her? What if she didn't sing? What if she wasn't singing or she was a fucking accountant? Like, what do you want her to do? Crunch the numbers for you before you propose? Like it's ridiculous. He is ridiculous. Anyways, he says, okay, so this gave me some clarity. He leaves the date and says, connection is gone. The spleen is saying the connection's gone because the bitch won't sing for me. The connection's gone. He sucks. Anyways, more on that later. Then we got a date with Javin and Kadisha. She tells him, you're into me, but why don't you like kind of go all out? Put all your cards on the table kind of situation because that's what Demola is doing. If Demola is doing it, then why the fuck can't you? That's what she's thinking. And everyone's going to come and approach things a little differently. Um, so uh, uh, mm, he explains that he was talking to a girl where he was vulnerable and she held back on him. And she basically says, like, I got another connection where he does all the grand gestures. That's not that's not Javin's problem. That's not Javin's problem that Demola is just all out here's writing poetry saying like Bruno, I love just the way you are, a treasure. Because that's not his problem nor his business. Who gives a fuck? So it's you can't compare the two and wonder why the one is not coming up to where you want him to be. It's stupid. So he says, listen, if you want someone else, please do what is best for you. Like he's not going to do what she wants in order to justify her being with him over Demola or vice versa. That is not his job. When he goes back to the quarters, he says, she's my number one, but she has another connection and he's doing all of these big gestures, love bombing her. Now, that was an interesting thing for me because do I think Demola maybe does care for her immensely? Yes, I do. But do I think he's love bombing her at the same time? Yeah. When he said that, I'm like, shit, he's right. That is what he's doing. And listen, I think he's Nigerian if I'm correct, right? I do think some men from certain African countries in particular, because I've seen this a lot, and not just African countries, there are other people as well who will do that, who will love bomb, who will say all the shit to you and do all the shit for you, and then let's be the shittiest partner later on once they're comfortable and they have you. I'm not necessarily saying Demola will be that way, but it happens. Not even just with, um, I say that because I've noticed it more with, in particular, certain countries in Africa, not all of them, where it's like this bad boy mentality just isn't there. And you want a little bit of that, which is probably why she's attracted to Javin, because Jamaican men, though they can love and care deeply, they have that bad boy streak. They leave a little bit to the imagination, a little bit of mystery, and that's way more attractive for some. Like Katisha, who says that's typically my type. Not necessarily saying the Jamaican part is what's her type, but him generally is her type. Same girl, same. That is the kind of guy I gravitate towards more. That's the kind of guy that's not going to give me the ick. I would have gotten the ick over Demola. Demola would have given me the ick because you're doing too much too fast. So that is what I think Javin's picking up. That Demola is doing too much too fast. And because he's doing too much too fast, Katisha seems to have this weird expectation that Javin should be doing it as well. But they're two different men. You're not going to get that from both of these men. Anyway, Megan and Kieran have a date, and she talks about the triangle and that she didn't even know that she was a part of this triangle. He says, I cared, but I want to continue this journey with only you, and just shade all about it because that's what's going to happen. We got this very quick here. We got Jed and Barda, and he tells her, I'm completely falling for you. So we see what's happening here now, right? We see with Patrick and Anu, it's gone. Connection's gone. Spleen ain't spleening. It's gone. So clearly that's phasing out. And this is why we have Jed and Barda, which I'm okay with. Totally okay with that. Anyway, we have Damola and Katisha. And he says, he's just gonna go for it. We got some sangria going. He's laying it on thick with the feelings again. And she says, I do have another connection. And she has not made a decision yet on either one. And he says, I feel like I am the right one for you. Bitch, don't tell me what you think is right for me. Again, wouldn't have worked. Wouldn't have worked. I would have been like, you know what? I'm so good. I don't need you to tell me what's right for me. See what I mean? Something ain't right with Demola. Something ain't right with Demola. But anyways, I could be so off, but it just something ain't right. Don't He's like, I don't think that it's not something that you deserve. Basically saying like, I think you deserve what you deserve and you deserve me. So it's fine. She starts crying and she says, I feel like my decision has been made. Girl. Mm-mm. You cannot seriously think this is your guy based on this fuckery that he just told you. No. Again, I'm not saying Javin is either, but I'm just saying, same rat. He says, do you see yourself falling in love with me? And she says, I think so. But she's like, I can see myself falling for you. I'm going to save it because I did write some notes on this. He says, that makes me so happy. So happy. He says, I know you have another date after. And she says, well, don't worry. Nothing is changing. I don't believe her. In this moment, watching her mannerisms, watching her face, I did not believe her. I felt like she was forcing herself to make Damola happen. I did. Because of the fact that he was laying things on thick for her that Javin wasn't doing. And this this is why I thought, like, I do not believe she was meant to be with Damola. Anyway, after all of that, though, she goes back into the quarters and says, Damola's my man. Again, didn't believe her in that moment. She looked sad. She looked so sad to say those words. Anyway, this is when it gets a little interesting, y'all, because although she said to Damola, I can see myself falling for you, you're it. Well, I shouldn't say that part, but you have nothing to worry about. She goes back into the court and say, that's my man. Things are going to change. She goes to Javin, but when she walks in the pod, there are these bouquet of flowers. Subtle gesture, you know? But she tells him, I think I've realized that my other connection is stronger. She says it doesn't mean that our connection wasn't genuine. And he says, I thought you were it. And I believe him. I do believe that he thinks that she's the one for him. I do believe him. Um, and she says, like, um, you don't have to stay. And he says, well, you already broke my heart, so I guess I will stay and enjoy my drink. But you can leave if you want. And she says, I'll enjoy my drink. And then it's like, once they start talking about enjoying the drink, it just opened up the floodgate. It opened up the listen, I know a thing or two. Once you kind of do the one thing and then the how are you doing kind of opens up, just this is how I'm with my man. That's what happened. Anyways, then he reads this note that he was going to, I guess, read to her. Um, and now when he reads that, she's confused about her decision now. Now she needs more time. Everything she just said to him, cancel that out. I need more time to think. Everything she said to Damola, fuck that shit. She needs more time to think. So that's what she's gonna do. Then we have Karen and Megan. She reads a poem that she wrote for him, and then it's his turn. It's her turn to be doing it. He says, I love you. And then he asks her to marry him, and she says, of course. So we have another couple right there. Anu in the quarters is singing. She's writing a song for this motherfucking splenetic asshole. She's writing a song for him. She's decent. She's realizing maybe I need to open up more, so I'm gonna open up in song. And I said, this motherfucker doesn't deserve it. Like, don't sing for him. But then we got the date with her and Patrick, and she tells him, so like, I decided to write a song for you. It's been hard to write lately, and I feel like I did this in our journey. Do you want to hear it? And his actions, y'all, are just saying no, and she's picking up when he's putting down. And he says, when I asked you to sing before, like, why didn't you? Motherfucker, she's doing it now. You expected her to do it when you wanted her to? Just because, like, you think you're entitled to her voice? You're not fucking entitled to shit. Motherfucker. I hate him. I, I didn't have this I had a reaction to him, but it wasn't this visceral until I'm talking about it, and I want to punch him in his stupid spleen. Feel that, motherfucker. Like, I'm so over him. I'm so angry. And yeah, it's just like, you're messed up, and you're trying to justify your reasons now for ending it when she's literally come in here not only singing a song for you, but she wrote a fucking song for your stupid ass. So it's ridiculous. Yeah, she didn't sing for you before, but she's trying to sing for you now. You suck, asshole. Anyways, um, she says, I want it to come from my heart. And he says, I have enjoyed getting to know you and being on this journey with you, but I have to follow my spleen. And that's where it ends. And I'm like, you know what? Follow your spleen off a cliff. Not like a big one. I'm not saying at all a big one. Kind of like, in Scary Movie, one of the scary movies, where the person falls off the cliff and then they just land on whatever gorge was hanging off that cliff or whatever. Kind of like that. Where they hurt themselves, but not killed themselves. Kind of like that. Anyways, that is it, y'all. That is it for this episode. Yeah. I mean, again, like I said, this is going on Patreon first. If you're listening to the main feed, episodes will be going over there first. And then this will be released a week later. So there could potentially be episodes available to you now on Patreon if you want to partake in that. But yeah, that's it. And again, it's on and I don't think I've mentioned this before. These episodes are available for all tiers. So that's the $3, $5, or $7 tier. Obviously, the $7 tier gives you everything, but the $3 tier provides these for you. It's the early access ones, so it is cheap. And let's just say there will be other ones like this. There'll be more announcements coming later on. I'm going to bombard you with all announcements, but this is, let's just say, the norm for certain episodes like the Netflix ones. So that will be there, or the ones that are strictly, strictly that streaming first or only. So yeah, this will kind of be the norm. So that will be something that will be available to all tiers if you're enticed to going over there first and get not only early access but ad free. Anyways, that is it, y'all. That is it for this episode. We'll be back with another one. Until then, guys, that is it for me. That is it for this episode. So if you like what you heard, please rate, review the podcast on either Apple Podcasts or Spotify. Also, don't forget that you can also share us with everyone in your life if you really love this. And I do want to read those reviews. I'm definitely getting 5-star ratings, but I want to read those reviews. So send me those reviews and I will read those 4 and 5-star reviews on the podcast. Also, we're on every one of your favorite podcast apps, every one of them, including you can find us on YouTube at Reality Tea Times 2. If you want to connect with us, you can do so by going to either Facebook or Instagram at Reality Tea Times 2. You can also find us on Twitter, TikTok, Reddit at Reality Tea Times 2 pod. We also have our email, which is at realityteatimes2 at hotmail.com. Definitely want to hear from you guys. And we also have our new website where you can listen to all of these episodes. You can review the podcast on there as well. You can connect with me in any way, all the stuff. It's all there, and you can find me there at www.realityteatimes2, all spelled out, .podpage.io. It's there. And don't forget, I also have my other podcast with my friend Mikkel, Next Take Podcast, where we talk about all kinds of different topics. But you can find us on any of your favorite podcast apps over there as well. Or you can also go to YouTube and you go to Next Take Podcast, as well as our website, which is solo.to/Next Take Podcast. So yeah, there's that, and that's basically that. And again, don't forget, if all of this information is overwhelming, we do have all of the links, everything in our show notes. But that is it for now, guys. Thanks. Bye.